Welcome back to Umineko.
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 I am personally very excited. Let me wire you in.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Can't do
So,
anything.
where we last left our
serious.
heroes. Fucking Kinzo. What's the family name again?
Shiramiya.
Nishiramiya has just fucked this day up.
Yeah. He got super drunk and hung out with some furniture. He's got
Yep.
like a chair that's like massaging his back.
Yeah, wait, what did we discover? What kind of furniture?
Oh no, sorry, he's a sideboard.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he's holding Kinzo's like cup.
Yeah, Genji is the
Genji.
sideboard? Yeah.
Genji's a sideboard, Kana's a chair, Shunna's a rug. Kumasawa's like a lounge maybe?
No, she was the kitchen utensils.
Oh yeah,
she's
she
a weapon.
was! That's absolutely, she's a weapon.
She's a weapon.
Oh my god. Uh-huh.
The Shiramiya Family Conference was held once every year on the first week of October. If a normal family were to hold a so-called family conference, you'd expect it to be nothing more than a reunion of rarely seen relatives who greet each other around buckets of sushi or something. However, part of the family's great fortune had been lent out to grandfather's children, and no one in this family was considered an adult until they'd met with his success in business. So this meeting literally was a conference. How much of the fortune was invested? What sort of business was conducted? How much profit was earned? As a result, how much of the fortune borrowed from the main family could be repaid? Or possibly, how much more would be borrowed for the future business ventures? What lessons had they learned, and what could they learn from their mistakes? It seems that topics like these were discussed very seriously in the past. My dad says it was like lying on a bed of nails. Apparently, it used to be a very serious family meeting where people were bathed and scorned in angry voices, and some people even got slapped despite their age.
With wooden swords, yes.
With wooden swords. However, that had become a thing of the past. Now with everyone pursuing their own business ventures and achieving success, it was becoming more of a normal year get-together. So, telling grandfather about recent events was extremely stressful. Even so, rather, telling grandfather about recent events was extremely stressful. So while it was nothing more than a simple get-together for us grandchildren, it was a real stomachache for our parents. The absence of the man who is the source of all this trouble, regardless of the reason, probably made today's lunch taste much more delicious. What a dig.
Wow.
The phrase, while the demon is not around, everyone can relax, comes to mind.
They're calling Kinzo a demon.
Oh, that's so bad. What kind of children are these people?
The best kind.
Anyway, let's introduce Jessica's father, who is not the person speaking.
No! I don't know!
Who I haven't seen for 6 years. The man sitting to my father's left is his older brother and Jessica's father, Uncle...
That's it. Right click. Go system.
Is it?
New entry. There was
New
a
entry.
The little jingle boy.
I didn't hear it.
I heard it.
System,
You need to pay more attention, dude. My dude.
You need to pay
Top
attention
left.
for me.
There he is. I am.
Shiramiya Kraus. Kinzo's first child is the oldest of the 4 siblings. He leads the family conference. However, the other siblings think he is still trying to get all of the inheritance for himself, and this further strains tensions between them. He is a real estate investor and has put a lot of money into the development of a resort. However, his results have been harshly criticized.
I love his outfit. He looks so formal.
Have we looked at
all the red?
Have we
No, we
looked at
haven't.
him?
Oh, his face.
Oh,
Oh, so angry.
oh my goodness. That's
He looks like a pro wrestler or something about to step into the ring.
yeah.
Like loosen the tie, go ham. I love him. I would fight him. I'd probably get murdered.
This name sure is easy to read. Kraus. Now we've gotten used to this string of weird names, our perspective is totally skewed. So Kraus doesn't actually seem that bad. It even starts to sound kind of cool. Just like with Aunt Natsui, I didn't have many memories of speaking with Uncle Kraus. He'd never been one to chat to children, and I felt like he was always talking with the adults, just like Aunt Natsui. Nearly called her uncle.
Thank you.
According to my father's gossip, he was a spiteful and violent man. What if what he said is true? Uncle Kraus used to be very domineering from his position as the oldest sibling, and was despised by all the other siblings. Though despite that, those siblings all seemed to be chatting happily together. Oh well, even if their relationship was bad when they were children, sometimes when people grow up and live apart from each other, their relationships change. That's probably what this was. Probably.
Yeah. What?
Probably.
They're just hanging out. Look, they've all got smiles on their faces.
After all, they all had children of about the same age. By sharing the same family environment, they probably profited by exchanging opinions. Maybe because of that, a short while ago, the circle of parents began to discuss the exams Jessica and I would be taking. Jessica, in order to escape questions about exams from my father on her left, purposefully faced right while firing off a rapid series of comments, not giving him any chance to get a word in. Moving on, let's look at the end opposite from Kraus and the others.
Oh!
In the very last seat at the table, an old gentleman with a sturdy physique sat facing Kairi-san.
Wait for it.
This is my first time meeting him. I'd only just been introduced to him, but it seems he's grandfather's personal doctor, a man called Nanjo. Let's check that system page.
Attending physician Nanjo.
Attending physician Nanjo!
Kinzo's attending physician, a longtime friend. He once ran a hospital in Nijima, but he turned it over to his son and now enjoys his old age in peace. You're not gonna...
No.
Not gonna reverb that?
No.
Okay, good. Now that Kinzo's...
Old age in peace!
Thank you.
Go on.
Now that Kinzo's constant suspicion has reached extraordinary heights, Nanjo is one of the very few people he trusts. Thanks to Nanjo's big-hearted nature, he has been able to continue his friendship with Kinzo, despite the latter's tendency to fly
into a rage at the slightest provocation!
The slightest provocation. Get us back to the game.
That glass sound was perfect for once.
It's perfect. Alright, continue please.
I heard he used to own a huge clinic on the nearby island of Nijima, but he turned it over to... Just read that.
Yeah.
He'd known grandfather since the very beginning, and when the mansion was first constructed on the island, he'd built up a relationship over several decades. I thought at first that the two of them might have gotten to know each other through grandfather's suspicious hobbies, but it seemed he was actually grandfather's chess partner.
And that's it.
I see, that kind of hobby seems very like our grandfather, what with his love of all things Western. Nanjo's probably the only person who could enter a Kenjima despite being neither family member nor a servant. He looked like a calm old gentleman as he listened to the discussion between Kairi and the other women who sat near to him. Considering how long he stayed by the side of short-tempered grandfather, his generous heart was probably nothing to laugh at. Still, even if he was a family doctor, having anyone outside the Ishiramiya family attend the family conference was a little odd. It made me think that grandfather's condition might have worsened so much it'd be a major topic of discussion at today's conference. After all, George said something like that just a second ago. Something about how we've been getting continuous reports around last year that grandfather didn't have long to live. It's nasty to think about it, but consider how rich grandfather is. At the time of his death, his wealth will suddenly be released, probably along with a fair share of our parents' stomach acid. Whoa!
Damn.
And it'll lead to ulcers for everyone. That's a beautiful analogy.
It sounds painful.
I really wish they'd put that as the drawing.
What? What, a drawing of someone's stomach ulcers?
Yeah.
Why?
I think that would have just been wonderful.
That would add to the scene? That's horrifying.
That would have been perfect.
There's no horror here.
After all, this sort of thing just gets messier when there's more wealth to be divided. There's a good chance they'll be talking about stuff like that at the family conference. Still, it's not like it's gotten anything to do with his kids. Finally, even though he hasn't shown up, let me introduce our grandfather.
Yeah.
The person who should be sitting in that incipience chair is Ishiramiya Kinzo. It really sucks. Everyone else in the family has these weird names, but he's got this perfectly normal one himself. If only his name were written Kinzo. But
Just don't worry about it. It makes sense if you're from the Japans.
But he let us call him Goldsmith or something. I'd totally freak out.
Oh, it's such a badass name.
I don't get it, but okay.
That's what his kanji mean. Like, there's like a literal meaning of kanji, but when you put them together, you can you say them as a name, but they have like individual meanings.
Right.
Yeah, like syllables kind of.
I see.
It's Japanese.
I'm sure it makes perfect sense to someone from the Japan.
It's Japanese language. It's very cool.
If only I were as cultured as you.
I know, right?
As you can probably guess by now, he's a frightening person with an extremely short temper. I'm one of his grandchildren, not a son. And I haven't seen him since elementary school. Thanks to that, I have no memory of being beaten myself.
Thank God.
But our parents were apparently raised with an iron fist. That earlier conversation between my dad and Uncle Kraus about who should convince grandfather to come down seems pretty damn funny once you know their background. Wasn't that narrated by someone else? I'm suspicious.
No.
Battler knows more than he should.
Does he?
I think so.
Yeah, we'll find out. Maybe.
Maybe. You can't really tell grandfather's story without covering that pivotal event back before the Showa era in 1926 to 1989.
Exposition!
Hold on a minute. It's 1986 and he already knows when the era ends? That's suspicious.
Well, I mean, that's how long the era goes for. The eras of, Japanese history are broken up in, a series of, a number of years.
They're predetermined?
Right? I think they are. You know, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Okay, I'll take your word on that, but that seemed suspicious to me at first.
Eh? Yes.
Still the Meiji 1868 to 1912 and Taisu from 1912 to 1926 eras, the Ishiramiya family was great and prosperous. They owned several spinning mills, making them rich enough to just double over laughing every day as the money kept rolling in. I really remember the days when I was rich and just doubling over laughing at all of this money.
I know. I remember just wallowing on a bed of cash.
Uh-huh.
You know, with my arms spread out like those dudes in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's like
You
that
know.
scene from, what is it, American Beauty, where there's like the
American
roses
Beauty?
falling,
Yeah.
except
Roses
it's
falling.
just cash.
Yeah, it's just dollar bills.
Yeah.
Except they're more like $100 bills.
Of course.
Because it's not dollar bills, because that'd be really...
That'd just be ridiculous.
That'd be very unimpressive, really, when you think about it.
Incidentally, grandfather was a member of a friendship family, and it pretty much nothing to
Pull
do with
yourself
the main
together.
family. You pull yourself together. Not only was he way down the list of people who could inherit the headship, but he had hardly any contact with the glamorous main family.
Ooh.
Whoa!
I went red and shit.
Whoa! During the Great Kanto earthquake in the year Taisho 12, 1923, the mansion owned by the Yoshimiya family in Odawara was flattened.
Yeah.
Where's Kanto?
It's a region of Japan.
Isn't that a Pokemon region?
No, I mean, it is a region of Japan, yes.
But
That
isn't
is
it?
referenced in Pokemon.
Isn't it? Wait, you're telling me that Pokemon actually draws reference from real life?
Yes.
What?
Surprisingly, have you seen those Pokemons? They're clearly pulled from real life animals. Fact. And Japanese cultural icons. I don't know any of them, but I'm sure they are.
I'm glad we're both so cultured.
I am very cultured.
The spinning mills in Tokyo were all burned down in a huge fire, and the Yoshimiya family lost most of its wealth and family members in an instant. So once they started trying to figure out who the successor to the Yoshimiya family should be, they apparently found no one remaining except Kinzo and his branch
Can
family.
we hold on for a second?
Please.
Did you just say that you thought that the Kanto region was just not a real thing? Is that what just happened?
That went straight over your head?
I know, I just had to go back for a second to confirm,
That is what
dear
I
audience,
said.
that is what happened.
That is what I said, yes.
Alright, we can keep going. I'm glad we've clarified this.
It may or may not have been true, but I cannot confirm or deny that.
Much like most of this novel.
Exactly. In Kinzo's later reminiscence, he referred to this as good fortune so great that it overturned fate.
Oh,
With
fate.
that, grandfather's boring everyday life did a 180. He was entrusted with reviving the dying Yoshimiya family, which had lost nearly all of its wealth. However, just because he'd been entrusted with this task didn't mean he could accomplish it. Apparently, those around him weren't really expecting much. Cheers! However, this is when grandfather began displaying his extraordinary talent and good luck. Oh, I get it, it's symbolism because he's talented and has good luck.
Yeah, he does.
Wow. What symbolism?
He's a smart man.
Of course, grandfather used all of the family's remaining wealth, as well as everything from the hair on his head to his toenails, as collateral in order to borrow a massive amount of money. Once he'd built up a gigantic war chest, he immediately invested in businesses. It was like someone tumbling down a hill on a bike without any brakes, and then jumping onto a neighboring bike, and then another one. Just like some crazy street performance.
That's something Kinzo would do.
I bet everyone thought grandfather had no business ability whatsoever. However, after several miracles, not miracles.
What?
Not actually miracles.
What do you mean?
Well, after several miracles in terms of good.
What?
Look, it's miracles is not literal.
Oh, no, that's true. Definitely not literal.
Definitely not literal.
Not literal.
There is no magic bullshit.
No magic in this.
None. It's
That's what I've heard about this series. I've heard there's a distinct lack of
yeah,
magic.
absolutely no magics.
Or a cult.
Nor is this chapter called something about a witch.
Okay.
With coincidences piling up at every chance taken advantage of, he was suddenly in control of powerful connections within the occupying force. At that time, MacArthur and the GHQ were the ultimate authority in Japan. Grandfather, in a twinkle of an eye, began succeeding in business under the protection of the occupying forces, quickly becoming very rich. By this point, it's probably safe to say that the information, not luck, saved the day. He must have made some seriously deep connections with the occupying forces. Grandfather knew beforehand about emergency demands that would be made for the Korean War. No, it was more than that. He must have predicted those emergency demands from the very beginning when he started investing his money. The history books made it sound like all of Japan made a large profit off the emergency demands during the Korean War, but that isn't actually true. Only a very limited number of super rich played the money game and made an easy profit. Most of the citizens remained poor. In other words, grandfather was a member of this extremely lucky group of winners. I'm pretty sure this all happened during the year Showa 25.
Bless you.
My goodness. I'm just allergic to dates.
So this is the thing, actually, that I want to kind of bring up. What we're learning from this scene is that the stuff that's happening is like he's talking about all these different dates and all these real events that occurred.
Yeah.
Right? So we're very much cementing this story as part of like real world history.
Right.
So I'm not saying you should go and research all of these events to try and figure out what's going on. But it couldn't hurt.
But what if these events have spoilers for Umanaka?
I mean...
What if I get to the bottom of the Wikipedia
like,
page?
as referenced in Umanaka, this is when this happened. Like, I don't think that's the thing you're gonna find.
Alrighty, I'll take your word for it.
So it's alright, I'll be next to you when you're Googling them to like make sure you don't find any spoilers.
Okay.
I'll read them out to you.
Okay.
I'll read it to you. I'll be your furniture. That's okay. Let's get going.
The Great Kanto earthquake happened in Taisho 13, 1924, so that means grandfather was able to revive the near-dead Yoshiramiya family in only about 20 years to a level even higher than it had been before. With that, you'd think he'd revive the main family in Odawara, but for some reason he went and did something as crazy as buying an entire small island in the Izu archipelago. Buying an island is not something you can ordinarily do today. However, grandfather was clever. He contacted the GHQ and applied for establishment of a marine resource base. He acquired this island as a business property, then tossed that project aside and claimed it as his own plot of land. That's some shady shit.
It's a little illegal, but that's fine.
After the war, there were prevention measures against food shortages, and having the sponsorship of the GHQ meant nobody could oppose him. From what I've heard, the Tokyo metropolis of that day offered this land to him practically for free. Later, Tokyo made difficulties by telling Kinzo to return the land, but the pushy GHQ intervened. Anyway, it seems the under-the-table bribes did their work well. In the end, the city gave up in frustration. What a wonderful group of people.
I know, right?
Can you give me a quick brief on who the GHQ are?
I don't actually know. It's some business group, I guess, from the sounds of it, possibly functioning in Japan. I'd have to Google it though.
Have a Google, I'll keep reading.
I will.
Grandfather, with considerable skill and good luck, managed to weather the stormy seas of that period. No metaphor, obtaining a vast fortune in his own island.
Storms are not important to the story.
Absolutely not. Of course, it probably wasn't all luck. He was obsessed with all things Western, which helped him cultivate his English skills. He was able to use this to his own advantage and sink his teeth into the GHQ. A mansion was built on the island soon after. This mansion, in fact... Grandfather, with his love of Western style, made this once uninhabited island a canvas upon which he could realize his dreams to his heart's content. Not a reference to any painting.
No.
He now had the Western mansion of his dreams, overflowing with emotion and atmosphere in a beautiful garden featuring all sorts of roses. And he had a private beach where nobody other than himself would be permitted to leave footprint. Also just happens to be in the Caribbean.
Yeah. He's got a sick, extra island that he goes and, gets a sick tan.
This would be a dream come true for any boy. After that, he made good use of his huge fortune, becoming a large stockholder in the extremely stable iron and steel industry, and was able to live an easy and comfortable life just using the dividends. Well, he's just that incredible. This kind of person usually has the ability to foresee and predict the future, at least that's how they're portrayed after the fact. But grandfather denies all of that, repeatedly saying he was simply blessed with the extraordinary luck.
Yeah, so the GHQ means General Headquarters. Most of the references I find refer to the Pakistan Army, just their general headquarters. I don't know. I mean, I can either confirm or deny that has something to do with
Did
any
you Google
of this.
Japan GHQ?
I did. I can only seem to find either General Headquarters or General Health Questionnaire, which I don't know that's what we're looking for.
Right.
So I can't find anything specific. I'll keep looking though.
Anyway, even a lord like that can't help but grow increasingly eccentric when locked up alone on an island where all his dreams are made real. Everyone knows that he's had a Western obsession from the start, but none of our parents really know when his bizarre black magic hobby began. Did his love of black magic begin way back when he became fascinated with everything Western, or did his miraculous stretch of good luck while reviving his family cause him to feel a mysterious power in himself? At some point, grandfather began to make the research of black magic his life's work. He filled his study up with suspicious books, chemicals, and magical items as he became increasingly bizarre. From what I've heard, those around him warmly watched over him.
Question mark?
Why is there a question mark?
Warmly?
Warmly watched over him, figuring that someone who had achieved success in life had the right to do as he pleased, but there's no way that's true. They were probably just creeped out thinking that's disgusting and I don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
Anyway, that agitated period was an age of big gambles with both opportunities and risks. Let's say grandfather was born in this time period. He would have had no opportunities and would have probably have advanced like a chess piece from mandatory education to college at a leisurely pace, never becoming more than an average salaryman. If that happened, he'd probably have sat somewhere happily talking behind his boss's back. Like what we're doing. Talking. Talking.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I was like, what? You talking behind my back?
I mean, I might be doing that too.
Oh, boy. Not in some fancy dining hall like this. More like a table or some bar. Again, I'll bet this family conference would be a whole lot more relaxing if that were the case. Or it just wouldn't happen.
That's also true.
That's probably the
This
case.
wouldn't be one.
Okay, that's enough about the old geezer. More importantly, let's talk about this incredible lunch.
Oh, is it my time to shine?
Here we go.
Not yet. Not
I'm
yet.
already convinced by that sashimi salad appetizer. Goda-san's an excellent chef.
Yeah, he is.
Plus, these fish were caught in the adjacent seas, weren't they? They're totally different from the sashimi you get at the supermarket.
Here, quit it, Battler. Your upbringing will be exposed.
Everyone let out a big laugh. Damn it, you say that even though you love these cheap pubs.
I've eaten in many unusual places because of work, but this stands right up there with the best of them. I'd be willing to bet Goda-san used to be pretty well known in those circles.
Well, I don't know the details, but stuff got complicated at the long-standing hotel he used to work at. What with them opening a new establishment with the same name and breaking into factions or whatever it was. In the middle of all that, he was apparently forced to retire, much like in the Soviet Union when it was shattered into many countries.
Yep.
At that time, Comrade Mum just happened to be sending out job offers for his servant.
They're from Japan!
As Goda removed the empty plates, he began to recount his own bumpy past without losing his smile.
The world is a difficult place. However, thanks to the madam, thanks to the madam, I was given a chance to display my skills as a chef once again. This time for the Ashiromiya family. Although I enjoy experiencing the smiles of a larger number of people, I also find it quite entertaining to perform more delicate work that can please the limited number of those who have employed me. All this is thanks to the opportunity given to me by the madam.
Goda-san respectfully bowed his head towards Ann Natsui.
That's because you are the most talented of the applicants. The decision was purely objective, not based on personal feelings, so there's no need to thank me.
Dang, why does Ann Natsui always have to sound so indifferent? If only she spoke with a bit more kindness, she might leave a different impression. Shannon-chan and Kumasawa-san entered from the hallway with the serving cart. Please excuse us.
Now then, let us move on to today's desserts.
Goda-san and the others laid the beautifully adorned dessert out in front of us all. I guess it's true when they say you have another stomach for dessert. I thought I'd already filled up on the delicious food, but as soon as I laid eyes on that dessert, my stomach started yelling, "More!" I don't know much about desserts, but this looked really good. A white pudding-like substance was garnished with 2 shades of red sauce, and elegant rose petals adorned the dish. Normally during a high-class meal like this, you're supposed to wait for the chef to extol the virtues of this particular meal before eating. However, Maria was completely indifferent to strict rules like that, so she got excited by this beautiful and delicious-looking dessert, jumping into the fray as soon as it was placed before her. Aunt Rosa scolded her, calling it bad manners, but George responded by saying,
Now, it's okay. Ooh? This part's sour. Battler, this one's no good. Ooh.
Maria exclaimed as she sampled the 2 colored sauces. What, some are good and some are bad? Okay, I'll give it a go. Mmm. Apparently one sauce was sweet and the other sour. Wow! What amazing information.
It's delicious.
It's almost like
Goda-san's cooking.
we've literally just been told that. Now
It's
we're being told it
Goda-san's
again.
cooking.
I don't have a problem with Goda-san's cooking. I have a problem with this narration.
Not a fan.
Despite it being bad manners, I also stuck my finger in and licked it.
Oh.
Whoa, one of the sauces was sour enough to make you pucker up. If it were yellow, I'd have suspected lemon, but I couldn't guess what kind of sourness would be red. I decided to ask Shannon, who was putting away the serving cart behind us. Shannon-chan, what kind of sauce is this sour stuff? Shannon-chan hesitated. Maybe her job was just to set the table, so she doesn't really know. Still, even considering that, she seemed pretty stressed. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. Or did they just use some ingredient that we'd better off not knowing about? While Aunt Natsui made a gesture that seemed to indicate an oncoming headache, Kumasawa-san,
Here we go.
who was setting up the table at the opposite seat, began to chuckle.
Ooh. What did you think it would be made out of? It'll shock you.
Huh? I don't have a clue. Wait a sec, Kumasawa-san. That laugh's pretty creepy. So what is it?
Don't tell anyone, okay? Listen very carefully.
Kumasawa-san leaned across from the other side of the table. I leaned forward myself when she asked. Their interests caught. Jessica, George, and Nikki, and of course Maria also put their ears closer.
Ooh, what? What? Quickly! Quickly! You see, the sour part is made from juice squeezed from a mackerel.
What? Mackerel? That's crazy, we all thought, horrified. Only Maria accepted it, nodding sagely. I'm sorry, did this book just describe Maria as sagely?
Yes, she's very sagely. She's so smart. Ooh, mackerels are sour. This is what comes out when you squeeze them.
So it's fish juice.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. When Maria started clamoring the mackerel was sour, the adults were unable to contain their laughter. Only Aunt Rosa, her face red, whispered to Maria that mackerel is sour only once prepared as shimasaba.
Nice.
Ah, now I totally remember. Kumasawa-san was always like this, wasn't she? I think I remember her tricking me too into all sorts of ways when I was young. The most lethal has got to be that one.
Mackerel.
Those flimsy black things in Chinese dishes. They're kikurage mushrooms. She told me they were penguin meat, and I went all around school like a smartass telling everyone, didn't I? Kumasawa Bachan, you sure haven't changed, you bitch.
Wow.
You know Maria's gonna believe it now, right?
Oh, it's just a joke. Now Goda-san's going to tell us what the sauce really is, won't he?
Goda looked a little put off about his masterpiece being laughed at for such a bizarre reason, but after clearing his throat once, he introduced the dessert to us.
Well then, allow me to introduce the dessert. After seeing how much you all enjoyed the rose garden earlier today, I finished this panna cotta in a rose garden style. The rose petals scattered across were selected just now from that very rose garden. The sauce is a combination of 2 red strawberry and roast hips. Please enjoy this mixture of the strawberry sweetness and the rose hips sourness. Furthermore, the rose petals are merely decorative, so please avoid them while you eat. With that said, please enjoy.
Whoa, man, I almost want to applaud before eating. Just like with medicine, reading the detailed description first seems to make it work a whole lot better. As Goda-san elaborated on the details of the dessert, it started to feel even more appetizing. Seriously, should you call him subtle or just talented?
Never subtle.
Not
Never.
subtle, not in the
The
slightest.
opposite.
That's, yeah. The dessert was probably planned from the beginning, but taking the hint when we all stopped in front of the rose garden earlier today, he displayed an incredible and timely awareness by just adding a few rose petals from that garden. His combination of sweet and sour was also exquisite. If it was just sweet, you'd get used to it and bored halfway through, but if you reached the sour sauce at that point, you'd get a real vivid taste. And then, once you return to the sweet sauce, all of the sourness in your mouth would be replaced with an overjoying sweetness. That's not what it says, but
I'll tell you
okay.
what, so I'm really enjoying this cooking show that we're like reading together.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying it, you know. I'm so excited that we get to like try new foods through like the perspective of someone else.
I'm really glad.
I'm
and
loving
I'm also
this
sure
novel.
everyone else felt the same way. Every time Goda-san passed by one of our seats, someone praised the taste and presentation.
How is it, madame? Splendid, as always. It is worthy of entertaining our guests. I am most grateful for your words. Madam, did you know? I have heard that roast hip has the ability to cure headaches. I thought that you in particular would appreciate it, so I had it specially prepared.
Is that a dig? That feels like a dig.
I don't know if it is. It might be. Let's find out. Is that so? Thank you. See, didn't I tell you, Natsuhine-san? Rosehip is great for headaches. So it seems. I do hope it actually helps. Ah! Goda-san, I love you. Hey, later on, why don't you tell me how they're treating you? Or if you can't, just let me know what sort of salary you'd like. Having your talent confined to this small island is sacrilege to humanity's cooking culture. What do you think about working your craft for my company and delighting all our guests?
I'm sorry, I accidentally was mashing that button.
I know.
Hideyoshi-san, you're trying to steal away our Goda. Now that won't do at all. We better start treating Goda better or he'll get snatched up. Hee. Yes, you really should.
I'm a schoolgirl.
If you don't, someone's gonna grab him and you'll be stuck with 3 meals of Kumasawa-style mackerel cooking a day, won't you?
Oh, that's harsh.
She's so savage.
It seems someone's holding a grudge against me. Side-eye. fucking glare. Wahaha!
Nope. According to Jessica, Kumasawa-san,
It's so done.
mackerel jokes were a running gag that our parents had long since gotten used to. Kumasawa-san often claimed that mackerels had precious and nutritional value, which could slow aging and make people smarter and more.
I believe it.
More what? More what?
Just add more.
More
Make people
what,
smarter and
Batman?
more. Like giving you eternal youth. And like putting you in a time capsule.
I've just always wanted.
And making you rich.
I'd always wanted to be
maybe.
more of a person.
Same. I'm just saying, mackerel is the secret to eternal youth.
Supposedly, while it couldn't stop the outward signs of aging, it helped prevent it on the inside. Since she was still spirited enough to tell these kinds of jokes at her age, there must be something to that theory.
Oh. In that case, if you'll excuse me, prepare yourself for tonight's dinner. I'll be cooking plenty of mackerel dishes for you all, so you'd better look forward to it.
Oh, goodness.
We sure will. Can't wait to get all puckered up for tonight's shimasaba.
That sounds wonderful. I wonder if they'll be serving any good Japanese sake.
Oh, we certainly will. Haven't you heard of Rockenjima's famous mackerel shoku? Everybody laughed?
Oh, no.
What?
I'm just... Kumasawa-san together with Shannon-chan borrowed and pushed the serving cart away.
Exit scene.
Exit scene.
Bye. Love
It was
you guys.
pretty funny to watch Goda-san, who looked like his show had totally been stolen, explain in a serious voice.
A serious?
Having calf steak for dinner. This better be a
Not
serious
my Goda.
voice.
Oh, it's not. It's a Shannon.
Kumasawa-san, thanks for doing that back there. As she pushed the serving cart, Shannon bowed her head very deeply.
I haven't done anything that requires thanks.
Kumasawa may have played dumb, but she had obviously understood and saved Shannon in the nick of time. Back when Battler had asked about "This is not me,"
It's true. This is a
Read it.
general
Read
narration. Back when Battler had asked about dessert, Shannon had unfortunately hesitated. There may have been several ways to dodge the question, but all of them would have required some quick wits. Shannon, who hesitated when hard pressed for a response, was always suffering because of this small weakness. If only Shannon had a little of the craftiness needed to cleverly shake off a mistake like Gerda, her life would have been a bit easier. The fact that she could perform other tasks flawlessly made this weakness even more unfortunate. If only she were more perfect like Gerda.
If only she
If
were
only.
more perfect, like Goda.
However, there were some who understood Shannon's honest nature, her inability to gloss over a mistake and draw attention away from it. That was why Kumasawa had smoothly come to her rescue. I just heard from Genji-san that there will be a change in the afternoon shifts. I believe you were given a break until this evening. Ho ho ho, I'm jealous.
Oh, sorry, I haven't checked the shift chart yet.
Ah, yes. I was thinking I might start cooking some mackerel in the oven. If you don't mind, I would be happy if you would help out a bit before your break and have some mackerel.
Oh, mackerel.
It gives you eternal youth and large breasts. That's the
Hold on.
secret of all of these characters.
Have we seen the new image for...
Yes, we have.
Okay.
They're not even, well, I mean, she's pretty old, is all I'm going to say. She's past
Oh
the
yeah,
prime.
that's right. We were discussing
She's-
how she looked like she was a young person wearing a wrinkle mask.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, that's right.
She's actually like 33.
Oh, yes. I'd be delighted to help.
To Shannon, Kumasawa was like a mother among the servants. Alright. And scene. This is you again.
The dining hall needed to be cleaned up, so we were chased out. Instead, tea was being served in the parlor. Apparently, they'd prepared the black tea that Aunt Rosa had brought for Aunt Natsui. Maria said she also wanted to have some black tea, but my old bastard said she couldn't and told us children to go play outside.
Batlakun, why don't we all go for a walk outside? Go ahead and take a look at the roses or something. But keep a close eye on the weather. The sky's still clear, but the weather report kept on talking about it. About rain?
About rain.
You're so trigger happy. Ooh, yes. I want to go to the beach. The beach.
Oh, that sounds wonderful! Playing on a sandy beach is something you get to do very often, is it?
No.
Ah, good point. Okay, let's all go to the beach then.
Ooh, let's go. Let's go.
Maria, be careful not to get your clothes wet. Or your shoes.
It's actually the perfect voice for Rosa. I love it. Ooh. Won't get wet. That obedience is so cute. Batlakun, make sure you keep an eye out for Maria-chan, okay?
Sure, leave it to me.
Hey, you're pretty obedient and cute yourself, listen to Carrie like that. Why don't you also listen to me obediently for a change?
Ha! Because you're an asshole.
Because I hate you!
Let's go, everyone. Come on.
Rude.
The children flew out of the parlor. They were replaced by Genji, who pushed a serving cart in and prepared to serve the tea. The parlor was filled with a sublime aroma, which delighted everyone while they waited to sate their thirst. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Rudolph's family certainly seems close. It's a wonderful thing.
We're no match for your family, Nikki.
That's true. You've raised Jessica-chan to be so adorable, breasts.
No! Adora breast! Keep going.
I imagine that's yet another fruit of your talents in education and training, Natsui Nase.
Yes. Thank you. And that's it. Fucking Natsui. Come on! Conversation!
Natsui answered coldly.
Damn straight she did.
I don't think this is Battler anymore.
No, I'll take over.
Take over.
The conversation broke off then, and the parlor fell silent. Maybe Hideyoshi couldn't bear the silence because he broke it himself with an exaggerated gesture. Still, they sure do go fast. I thought they'd be kids forever, but they start getting huge all of a sudden, and then they're adults like us. Battler-kun looks like a completely different person now. His body has grown much bigger, but he's still just a kid. Though you could say the same about my husband. Oh! Savage.
I wonder where the border between child and adult is. I still don't feel as though I've grown up. Isn't that beautiful? That's not something the mother of a child should say. That's right. We're not children anymore. We're all adults now. So I wish we could talk together on an intellectual level rather than an emotional one.
Oh my god.
Says one who abuses a goddamn child.
You need to pause for a second. When Ava smiled with sharp sarcasm, everyone seemed to get more tense. It felt as though that pleasant tea aroma had been tossed out the window.
This is really ominous.
You know how you said they're probably talking together as like friendly family? Yeah. Let's just keep going.
Since long ago, we've always endeavored to engage in intellectual conversations. It seems your sarcasm occasionally misses its mark, just as it always has.
Oh.
I feel like we need a hype man
What?
for this scene.
Want me to just go oh a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh!
Oh, what is it you've always endeavored to do? My. I wish I could wrap those words up and send them to this room a few decades ago. Right, Rosa?
Rosa gave a vague smile. She knew that whether she agreed or disagreed, she'd earned the displeasure of one of her siblings. It was a bit of worldly wisdom that had been essential for someone growing up as a younger sibling. Quit it, Neki. We better get started on our main topic while the brats aren't around. Let's make that our intellectual discussion. As Rudolph glanced over the faces of all present, some let out a slight sigh, and some let a small look of resignation cross their face. They were approaching their unavoidable true agenda.
Oh.
Yeah. Last year, his life expectancy was estimated at about 3 months.
That is a fucking ominous base.
Which I guess means he's got negative 9 months left now. Should we take that to mean it might suddenly happen at any time? The family head is still alive and well. The fact that you bring up such an inappropriate topic under the light of day makes me doubt your sanity, Rudolph-san.
Oh!
Still, Natsui-san. This is the sort of thing you can't put off until after something happens. You're still healthy now, which makes this the perfect time to talk about this, while we've still got time to plan. It's just a bit of financial etiquette, you might say.
It seems father is the focus of everyone's concern. Dr. Nanjo, could we hear the details from you? That appears to be what everyone else is waiting for after all.
Nanjo, who had been standing by the window and staring out at the rose garden, let out a single cough when he realized that he was being called.
Dr. Nanjo, how is father's condition?
So you're saying that even
Wait,
if
what?
he's...
Did we skip something?
No? Oh my god, you totally did. How did you manage that?
I don't know.
Go back, that's fine. Well, to begin, allow me to start with a revision, since my estimate last year that he had only 3 months left was not borne out. And then that's Kraus, I believe.
No need to explain. You're saying that measuring remaining life is only a prediction, not a promise, right?
Scroll down. That is correct. Because of that, while I will accept everyone's repeated questions, I can by no means confirm when he will pass away. A human's life is supported by their body and their mind. If the body is weak, the situation becomes more dangerous, but if the mind is strong enough to compensate for that weakness, the effects of one condition can sometimes remain in a subdued state. So you're saying that even if his body is weak, his mind is still firm and spirited? Gareth, sorry, but please stay quiet for a bit. I'm sorry. That is correct.
That is quite the wink.
Mm-hmm. Ginzo-san's body is being overwhelmed by the demon of ill health. Not actual demons.
Of course.
Demon of ill health. This will hold especially true as long as he continues to partake in such strong alcohol. So he's in a crisis now because he drinks. And maybe he's lived this long because he drinks. There's Dad for you, the heavy drinker.
Well then, Doctor, I know you can't give anything more than a prediction. But what do you think about Father's chances of living until this day next year?
That's quite a rude question to ask about the family head. Nancy jumped on Ava, not even bothering to hide her astonished expression. Ava stared back daringly, but Hideyoshi realized what was going on and tried to smooth things over with a forced smile. Natsu, son, forgive her. Ava, choose your words a bit more carefully, okay?
I'm sorry, I was just so concerned about Father's condition. And my wallet!
And the tenseness of this scene. Is that so? I hadn't realized.
Dr. Nanjo, please tell us, for the sake of the beautiful love of a daughter worried about her father's lifespan.
Kraus laughed sarcastically, and Ava smiled sweetly, returned an identical chuckle. You ask whether he will still be healthy next year, but as a doctor it is very hard to say. Because while I do think this lull in his condition will continue for a while, if he suffers some kind of fit, there may be nothing we can do. After all, Rokkenshima is a solitary island. It is not as though an ambulance could quickly jump in and save him. Normally I would want to have him placed in a large hospital on the mainland, but...
Father stated he does not want his noble research interrupted. It seems he holds a grudge against the way we tried to force him out last year. Apparently he strongly suspects he'll be shut away in some hospital if he goes outside, and that's how things are now. Has Dr. Nanjo been examining him? Father trusts Dr. Nanjo. It seems he can be examined when in one of his better moods.
I can examine his condition, but if I try to recommend medicine or hospitalization, he refuses to listen. I've really only been able to look. It's true, some people hate doctors. Still, what a hassle. Nanjo sighed deeply. The purpose of an examination is to determine what medical treatment would be appropriate. Receiving an examination and then not following the advice given makes the whole thing pointless. So to sum it up, he's still expected to live 3 months. There's no way to guess how long he'll continue to live while still on the verge of death. Rudolph-san, wouldn't you be a little more discreet with your words? Sorry. I've always talked this way, with this incredibly sexy southern accent.
No.
Give me a break.
I understand how Dr. Nanjo sees it. What about you, Krasny-san? To be perfectly honest, I have to disagree with Dr. Nanjo. I find it truly difficult to think of Father as a person so sick he has only 3 months to live. His yell is as healthy as ever, and it still gets chills from the thought of his fists raining down on me. Pushing the care of your father solely on the shoulders of the eldest sibling is far from fair.
In the next world, get born after me. Okay, let's get back on track. So in the opinion of an impartial and neutral doctor, it wouldn't be odd for him to go anytime. No offense to you and Nikki, but I'd rather trust the opinion of an expert in his field. Which means it's definitely not too early to start talking about Dad's assets.
Father's personal funds probably reach as high as several 10 billion yen, right?
You need to lower that pitch. My god.
But it's not as though that's all nearly gathered as ready as cash. It's not as simple as simply cutting a birthday cake with a knife.
That's an interesting way to put it. That's right. You sometimes get strawberries or chocolates on top of the cake, making it hard to cleanly cut it into equal parts. Given that, don't you think it's important to discuss beforehand how best to stick the knife in?
Not metaphor!
No. I cannot understand how you all can openly discuss this as though the family head is dead even though he's still alive.
Come now, don't you see how important this is? After all, when the time comes, the inheritance of his fortune must be carried out immediately, right? Moreover, the glorious Ashiramiya house wealth is vast. Don't you understand that careful discussion is necessary beforehand? There's a huge difference between this family's resources and your family's wealth.
How rude! My birth family has nothing to do with this! Natsu responded indignantly, though in a low voice, and the already dark atmosphere grew even more hostile. Give it a rest, Ava. Natsu-san, forgive us. Pardon our rudeness. Hideyoshi tried to smooth things over by glancing at both with a forced smile, but only resulted in making the hostility between Ava and Natsu even more intense. It seems I'll just get in the way if I stay any longer. Please excuse me. As he runs for the door. Nanjo rose from his seat and exited the parlor. To an outsider, it may have seemed like a normal act of courtesy, but his back was watched by several glances envious of his ability to escape. After the doctor had exited and his footsteps had disappeared into the distance, Kraus recrossed his legs.
In other words, this is what you would all like to say. Father's remaining life is short. You want to quickly enter into practical conference concerning the distribution of the wealth of the inheritance? Why are you so eager, I wonder? Certainly, as you say, estimating and distributing the Ishiramiya family's wealth is no simple task. In that case, shouldn't we make careful and deliberate calculations? It seems to me that you're all impatient to split up the cake tonight. Isn't that true, Rosa? What reason is there to be hasty?
We aren't being hasty. However, you need to have an agreement between the siblings. It doesn't matter when we do that. But if the day Father's conditions worsens is approaching, discussing the matter beforehand hardly seems hasty to me.
Rosa shot a glance at Eva and Rudolph. As the youngest sibling in the family, it was hard for her to be cross-examined by the eldest.
Oh, is that your true opinion? I didn't expect that the most honest and pure-hearted of the siblings would say something like that. I wonder if those two told you to say it.
Dots. Quit it, Aniki. Rosa's one of Dad's kids too. She's got as much of a right to his inheritance as the rest of us. It's only natural that she'd be interested. After all, Dad'll definitely die, and that's not something that'll happen in the distant future. What? What?
That seems like the kind of line where it's like, Dad'll definitely die.
What would happen if he were to die sometime soon in the future? Not what would happen.
Ugh.
Yeah. They just want to sort out the family fortune before dear old Dad passes away. They're so, kind of
Just
caring.
wonderful children.
On the contrary, Nikki, you're way too relaxed. It almost seems like you like nothing better than to turn the discussion away from the inheritance issue. What do you mean by that? Are you trying to accuse my husband of something? Calm down, Natsu-san. Listen to what we have to say.
Nissan, I hear the times have been extremely good lately. Yes, since last year we've been in an unprecedented boom and the yen keeps on rising. It seems that it's no longer a dream that the dollar will reach 100 yen. Also, the ruling party says it will establish a health resort maintenance law by next year. At this moment, resort development companies across Japan are running about trying to gather as much funding as they can. You certainly seem to know a lot about it. Japan is about to experience an unprecedented boom. It will be a repeat of the Korean War demands, this time during which Father revived the Ushirimiya family. The people of Japan have been working like mad, achieving vast economic growth and becoming the most well-off people in the world, reaching the height of our prosperity. We've reached an era where private spending is vast, which means easy money for institutions that can capitalize on that fact. 3 kinds of electrical appliances no longer represent the people's needs. The people need ski resorts, golf courses, public pools, resort hotels, and theme parks. Have you gone to
Disneyland.
Disneyland, which just opened a few years ago? What an excellent Disney!
For copyright purposes, Disneyland. It's perfect. Please continue. I'd love to hear about Disneyland.
Yeah.
Where the family fun and...
Yeah, with Mocky Mouse and Moni Mouse.
Moni Mouse! No! 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 Keep talking.
And Floofy Dog.
Oh my god.
No longer do we count ourselves virtue to be selfless devotion while failing to care for our families.
And Ronald Rock.
We have become the most prosperous people in the world, and now we can finally enjoy the benefits and murder.
Yep. Krauss-san, your foresight's nothing to sneeze at. When I heard that sort of thing several years ago, I thought it was crazy. But when I heard about the G5 Nations Plaza Accord, that all changed. The yen shot up, and I'll bet the price of land skyrockets soon too. It won't be long before Japan becomes the economic center of the world. You got a great sense of the direction the world's moving in, Krauss-san. At least there can be no debate about that. I feel the same as Hideyoshi-san. Aniki, You can read into the next decade of history. I'll bet you got that keen sense from Dad, and it's incredible. However, unlike Dad, the timing of your predictions has been a bit off sometimes, right?
Nissan, you've been starting resort projects everywhere, convinced that Japan will soon see a boom, but almost all of them continue to fail.
Son.
While I'm sure the era you predicted will soon arrive, it seems you misread the timing of that boom. You were too early. You then panicked and tried to sell everything off, which only opened the wound even further. If your nose really was so reliable, there should be no reason for you to sell off your property. Isn't this proof that you mistrust your own ability?
Oh!
Oh!
How rude. Are you trying to insult my husband? Natsy's forehead creased as she rose from the sofa. Eva, paying this no heed, stared at Kraus with a confident smile. Kraus, who also maintained his confident appearance, told Natsy to sit down.
Please stop, Natsuhi. Eva's always been incapable of talking any other way than being a bitch.
Yeah.
Calm down a little or your headache will get worse. As proof of your lack of talent, right next to us. After all, Nissan, weren't you excited about turning this island into a resort? You built a wonderful resort hotel and beautifully maintained the garden.
What resort hotel? What?
What?
No.
On the island?
What could he be referring to? What could she be referring to? What resort hotel? We haven't seen a resort hotel.
We haven't seen a resort hotel.
No, we haven't. Please continue.
What?
Don't worry about it. Please continue.
You built a wonderful resort hotel and beautifully maintained the garden. I am just an amateur and don't pretend to understand what or where this resort hotel is.
Yeah.
But you must have used a significant amount of Disneyland money for that shit.
Yeah.
Right?
The only buildings we've seen so far are the mansion and the guest house.
The kids don't know about the resort hotel.
They don't know of any resort hotel.
Wait,
no.
is that what the Caribbean-looking umbrella was?
That's it? That's the resort house.
That's the resort.
Nailed it. And what is that to you? My husband's business is none of yours. Actually, that's not true, Natsy-san. Rokenjima doesn't belong to Aniki, it belongs to Dad. Of course, the hotel does belong to Aniki, right? In fact, we'd be more than willing to pay lodging fees for tonight. What do you think, Rosa?
Wait, so the guest house is supposed to be a hotel?
Maybe.
Well, if what I have on hand will suffice. If I can make it into a resort, this island's financial worth will rise. It is true that expenses have piled up, but we can expect a large harvest in the future. When that happens, all of you stand to profit as well, do you not? I understand that. If the value of this island rises, that'll increase our portions where we distribute the inheritance. Of course, I won't ask you to divide the island and the mansion in 4 equal parts. We can just resolve the matter with money equal to the value of the property. If you understand that much, what about my business makes you so dissatisfied?
We ain't dissatisfied, we're uneasy. In the first place, Aniki, when do you plan to open that hotel? Left this way, you won't get anything out of it except our grubby handprints, right?
That's right. It's an important tool for your business, isn't it? Surely you can't keep it locked up until the moment you open it. Buildings go bad if you don't use them and air them out every once in a while. Even so, it's a bit extravagant for a guest house that we only use once a year.
There
I
it
was
is.
right.
Fucking nailed it!
Right,
We're like
Rosa.
real detectives!
Ah, it's almost like it actually was pretty obvious.
Yeah. Nailed it.
That's right. Considering how wonderful it is, I'm sure to become quite popular once you open it.
Oh. So the hotel you keep talking about is the guest house.
I'm glad that she just exposed.
Yeah, she just figured it out. So she's like, telling us. It's splendid. Just as Rosa said, if you were to open it, I'm sure it would become very popular. The lodging they had been guided to wasn't originally intended to serve as a guest house. It was originally constructed as a resort hotel. However, even though it was built 2 years previously, there was still absolutely no prospect of it opening. It sucks.
Nissan, it's just like all of your enterprises. Your attention and planning are both fabulous. Then it always becomes unmaintainable partway through and ends up before you have a chance to claim any profit.
Don't want to take control?
Sure.
You were brilliant when you saw that using this island only as a place to live was a waste. I think it was a pretty good plan to turn it into a resort that could use the prospect of marine sports, fishing, honeymoons, and that to attract customers. If I were the oldest son, I'm sure I'd have strained my brain looking for a way to make a profit off this damn
You
island.
see, that sentence there, let's go back up to
What?
it. This sentence here is not a talking sentence unless you are just having a dig at someone. Like, try
Like, these are all the things it could be used for, and it's currently being used for none of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's such a dig sentence.
I know, this entire conversation
Because it's
is
like
wonderful.
It's like, oh, I think it was a pretty good plan to turn it into a resort that could use the prospect marine sports, fishing, honeymoons, and the like. Like that's not a
Yeah.
conversation. That's an essay.
No, this is me telling you all the ways you fucked up.
Yeah, that's
literally what this is.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Who's this? Me?
Yeah, this is you.
Well, 2 full years have passed since you finished the building, right? After 2 years, you still haven't had the opportunity to open it. Where's the managing company you entrusted it to?
Impertinence! That is not my husband's fault. There's just been some trouble with the company that my husband contracted with. No matter how you look at it, we are victims here. And yet, rumors we've heard about this company you had haven't been good at all.
Let's be clear about this, dear. Did you really think we wouldn't hear about how lack of payment, embezzlement, and other issues led to the project disintegrating mid-flight? Oh!
Yeah, It's not even subtle now. We even have evidence!
What?
I don't know what kind of evidence you think you found, but it's all baseless. As new members in the tourism industry, it is necessary for us to lay the groundwork with various people. It is also important to investigate the trustworthiness of our partners. It's merely taking us some time to meet that goal.
I'll admit, in my rashness, the hotel was completed too early. However, it's not as though we're paying maintenance costs. It's a foundation that will eventually become immensely significant.
Lie. I'll bet you want to liquidate it, but can't. After all, there's no reason for anyone to buy such an extravagant hotel on an isolated, empty island without any established sightseeing routes. And anyway, what about all the loans you made for this project? Even if you aren't incurring maintenance costs, the borrowed money that you can't return just keeps growing. Sorry, Krasny-san, but I've investigated the development plan for this island a bit. To be honest, I haven't heard anything good either.
Hideyoshi-san, I can see how you might be left with that impression by looking only at the current financial situation. However, this is forward-looking investment. I have no choice but to admit that my prediction was mistaken, and that up until now several liabilities have been created. However, the times have financially caught up with me. I soon will
What?
regain everything. What?
You say the times have financially caught up with me?
Yeah.
Nice.
I read that correctly.
Lovely.
No, actually, all the investments I made until now possession. That's right. Just like throwing away my small fry.
A small fry. Oh my god. Are you okay? Give me
no.
the space bar. Give me the space bar. You're too drunk to handle the space bar.
I'm not drunk.
What are you then?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't had anything to drink.
Take a
Except this
drink, then.
wonderful water.
Yeah, there's not been a lot of narration in this scene, unfortunately. That's okay. Have a drink.
I'm glad there has been no narration. It would have just been a train wreck.
No, but I am narrating this scene, remember? I'm saying I want to give you a break. not that I want to give you... Keep talking.
That's just right, like throwing away a small fry, which then becomes a salmon. They will come back bigger than before.
Yeah, I'll accept that. The resort business will probably see an unprecedented boom before too long, though I don't know if it'll be enough to cover all your debt. However, Krasny-san, after all your fails in the past, who exactly do you expect to provide you with funding? And this isn't some small amount we're talking about. Talking's about? Nice. You'll need enough funding to fill the massive hole you've dug. What are you trying to say, Hideyoshi-san? Natsuki-san, please don't get angry. We looked into this too. We checked to see who might have provided Krasny-san with enough financing to support his recent large-scale projects despite his string of failures. And we discovered...
Oh,
Did we
good.
just-
They're collaborating against him.
What are you talking about? What? There's some kind of conspiracy
my.
between the siblings against one of... What? No.
Oh my.
And we discovered that no such backer exists.
Oh!
The iron rule of the money roulette is that you bet against the loser, and Nikki, you're a fairly well-known loser in this field. It's true that prosperous times are about to come, but when we look for people who consider that enough to overlook your string of failures, and also had enough of the investment, we found no candidates.
So, the big question now is where you got that money from. Oh. Now isn't this intriguing? And?
Dear, how long do you plan to let these ridiculous remarks stand? Sit down, Natsuki-san. Let's go to the point. Aniki, you've been diverting Dad's private funds for your own businesses.
No!
These are some scandalous accusations.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm a little scared. There's pretty much no room for doubt. If you think we made some kind of mistake, please feel free to explain.
Rudolph, don't call it diverting funds. This is embezzlement, plain and simple. A huge crime that can be criminally prosecuted.
This sort of rudeness cannot be tolerated. How can you face the successor to the Ashumia head family and level these absurd accusations?
They aren't absurd, they're right on the mark. I'm sure he'd like to somehow make his business succeed and recover his losses, but his debt keeps getting bigger. He's just trying to cover up the failure of one gamble by making it an even bigger one. It's only naturally to try to grab any source of funding close at hand. Let me be frank, Nissan. What you're doing is embezzlement. You're betraying father. You know that we'll have the courts settle this. The courts settle
The
this.
counts. The 12 counts. No, don't count.
After this is all over, right? You think this kind of person has any right to call themselves the successor to the head of the Yoshiromia head family?
Yes.
Oh.
I think this is Kraus. Oh no, this is definitely Nazi. Of all the... You dare to claim that he has betrayed the family head? You no longer have the right to straddle the threshold of the glorious Yoshiromia family! Leave this place at once! Now! Get out! Natsuhi, who had already reached the limits of her anger, shouted at Eva in rage. She then pointed alternately at Eva in the hallway, demanding that she leave. Eva took out a folding fan and fanned herself with it, glaring maliciously at Natsuhi as though silently daring her to repeat what she'd said.
Bitch!
I love Eva so much! However, her mouth was still smiling, curved in the shape of a crescent moon. In that unpleasant silence, Rosa gulped.
Hey, Natsuri-san, to whom do you think you are speaking in such a tone?
I'm speaking to the exceedingly rude sister of my husband. As the person in charge of the main family's kitchen, I cannot overlook any more of this.
In charge of the kitchen. Be silent, lowly maidservant.
Wow! She just hit that.
Whoa!
What? Oh no, she folded her fan. Eva folded the fan with a snap and rose to her feet energetically. Compared to the elegance and playfulness she'd shown until a second ago, she was now unimaginably aggressive.
How foolish! You stand down before Eva of the Ashuremia family! You tell me to stand down? Me, Ashuremia Eva, the third ranked in the Ashuremia family hierarchy and the one allowed to sit at the left shoulder of the head? Know your place!
Bitch slap! Bitch slap!
Oh! And then look at your shabby self in a mirror!
Mirror!
Oh! Where's the symbol of the wing on your clothes? Oh! Where are you permitted to wear the one-winged eagle? Oh! Hold on a minute.
Yeah?
One-winged eagle, that's what it's supposed to be?
What are you talking about? What wing that's tattooed on everyone's body is like some kind of crazy symbol of power?
I saw that. I was just wondering what it was supposed to be. One-winged eagle.
It's
okay.
one-winged eagle.
Today we learned.
Yeah, we're learning.
Aren't you nothing more than a borrowed womb to house the next successor to the Ashuremia family?
That's fucked up!
Oh my!
It's fucked up.
Understand your place, you common housemaid.
Damn!
Damn!
She's not a nice person.
She's really not.
Eva's face twisted hideously as her words gouged into Natsuhi's heart like talons wrenching at it. ... Exclamation points! There are 100 ways Natsuhi wanted to respond. However, her anger and sorrow crushed her throat, and none of those words managed to make it to her mouth. Her anger had nowhere to go and became a single hot tear that slowly dripped down.
What's wrong? If you have something to say, please do so. Come on.
Eva faced her with a provocative gaze. However, Natsuhi could do nothing but tremble, her clenched fist quivering. Kraus quietly broke that powder cake tension.
Natsui, leave your seat. You should go cool your head.
What? Natsuhi, resenting the fact that her husband had not come to her aid, shifted the focus of her attack. Dear, don't you understand what they're saying about you? These people are baselessly calling you a traitor to father. They are making light of the fact that we protect the glory of the Yoshiromia family, even though we are constantly expending every effort to earn that glory from father. They trample all of that underfoot with their hateful rambling, and you don't even try to fight back. Why? I'm only standing up for us because you won't, but you've been putting the entire burden on me for some time now, and now you tell me to go cool my head? It's always me!
Even though I've always considered this family's affairs so seriously, you've, gah.
Oh. Natsuhi was already unable to hide her tears. She flew from the room in that state. After that, all that remained was a somewhat embarrassed mood about the parlor. When the sound of footsteps grew distant and silence returned, Kraus shrugged his shoulders slightly.
I apologize for my wife. She's always been bad at controlling her emotions.
I feel so bad for Natsuhi. I love her.
It's even been rough for me. That's what's been managing your household. You must suffer to no end, Nissan. God, what a bitch!
I just want to hug her.
It's just terrible people.
Madam, it's nothing. Leave me be. Natsuhi flew into her room and threw herself onto her bed, lamenting. Those heart-wrenching sobs reached Kumasawa in the hallway. Poor Madam Natsuhi. There is a deep enmity between her and Eva-sama. Explaining their relationship would be very trying for me as a woman. The Shumia family holds blood in high regard, but if a woman marries and leaves a family, they are normally removed from the family register. Thus, under normal circumstances, Eva-sama should have been removed when she married Hideyoshi-sama. However, there is no one deserving of blame in this matter. The madam certainly bears no guilt. There is nothing to court other than a whim of God. House-sama and Natsuhi-sama were not blessed with children for some time. After all, this is the male dominant of Shiromiya family. A wife is merely a tool to create an heir. If such a wife cannot fulfill her only duty, she would not even be treated as a human. It pains me to remember how that master tortured Madam during that time. Back then, a wedding between Eva-sama and Hideyoshi-sama was being discussed. Eva-sama was sly. Taking advantage of Madam's inability to become pregnant, she gained the favor of the master. She inspired him to allow her to marry and give birth to a successor herself, making sure to avoid transferring her name out of the Ushiromiya register. There was a vast difference in the Ushiromiya hierarchy between Madam, who married into the Ushiromiya family and was treated like an outsider, and Eva-sama, who was related to the family by blood and whose husband took on the Ushiromiya name. Furthermore, Eva-sama actually gave birth first, and to a boy. As for how much weaker Madam's position was than Eva-sama's, well, I believe you could see for yourself. I'm sure Madam is tormented by the thought that if only she had gotten pregnant earlier, the master wouldn't have accepted Eva-sama's request to keep her last name after marriage, and Eva-sama wouldn't have been permitted to act as arrogantly as she did today. However, that was not Madame's fault. All of the blame lies with God's whims and the stalker that delivered Jessica late. Even so, Madame won't allow herself to see things this way. She probably can't help but cry bitter tears as a woman, and her inability to carry out the duties expected of a wife. Ah, how sad. I cannot do anything except watch over her from the shadows.
Oh,
Fuck. That was an intense scene.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, before we move on, I gotta say,
Yeah.
it's like we started off and there's all these characters doing this bantery bullshit and
Yeah.
having all this fun, and we're like, oh, this person's shit and that person's shit.
Yeah.
God, they're actually bad people.
I know.
Oh my god.
I fucking told you, didn't I?
No, you didn't. You didn't tell me shit.